Trying to find the streamer mode somewhere.
I told you. Because he said
It sounds like you told me, but I feel like you told me like
Gotta
he
go on
was
mute.
born somewhere else. He didn't have that, or something. It wasn't a full thing in my mind. So
yeah.
Who's that?
my seatbelt.
VP, go mute. Hopefully you guys had a good day today. Was anyone confused what was happening or why? Anyone had trouble reading the market today?
No, but could you just briefly touch on the what the 88% odds of going testing high, testing low, and closing POC? I just forgot what you mentioned during the class on Sunday.
Yeah. So the way it works, right? And this is not like a golden rule. It's just based on the tests. So let's say the top is IBH, right? So if the IBH is here and IBL is here, if you spend 30 minutes above this, let's say here above the IBH, you spend 30 minutes above this, let's say your C period, let's assume the next period spends 30 minutes above this, there's 88% chance that the low of the day, wherever that is, has been set. Okay. You following? Got a losey chance?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I just muted. I'm here. I'm following.
Yeah. And then if you spend, let's say 30 minutes below here, the opposite's true. That means the P, like current day high, is the high of the day. Why we want to know that is if you, let's say you have a profile and they accumulated here, and this is the POC, and you know this is the high of the day. Well, if they come in here, that would be potentially a good short, right? And then you could protect yourself a little bit here, right? And I'm just throwing levels, but you know, if it's 30 points between here and here, that's probably not a good protection, right? But let's say you're shorting somewhere here close to the top, and this is how today, that becomes a really good short, right? You know, 88% chance it's going to be a successful trade is a pretty good stat to be on your side.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Something happened today that we covered in a class on Sunday, I believe, right? So you want to take a guess what happened? Called it out before it happened.
Are you talking about the short covered rally?
Yeah, that was a given, right? Once they gapped up over that level 5442. Remember, I wrote in the notes, if you're able to go above this, then most likely you're going to trigger that. And that was basically from here to here. And then, of course, we had the single prints. But what happened, Gator, and I think you're there. Let me make sure. Yeah. So let me hide this for a moment. Is this happened, right? How wide is this IB, guys?
Not very.
It's normal.
Narrow.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's compare it relative to the prior day. 68 points. And this one here is 1/4 of that, but less than a quarter. So what does it tell you about today's participation? Are the big boys in this?
No.
Okay. What's
No.
another way to know the big boys are not in it? I covered this at 12:30. I told you a new answer to Gator, I guess. How do you know the big boys are not in here?
Tight IB, small IB.
That's fine, but what's another way? I mentioned it at 12:30 today.
To range neutral day.
Ah, what about it? How did I anticipate that? How did I know that that's coming?
Well, I mean, there's the range. We were coming up to those single prints, so we.
Don't worry about single prints. It's nothing to do with single prints, right?
Okay.
I'm asking you because this is how you guys will eventually learn. When I bring up, I traded live, and I talked about that as well. And I'm not like, oh my gosh, Shorty, let me pat your shoulders. But you guys have to start seeing this live. Once it's live, it's not like you guys can pause and be like, hey, go forward. I'll pause my time and then I'll take a trade. You have to be able to visualize this and see it happening. We talked about IBL being broke into a downside, remember? We said we broke downside, and then what did we do? We reclaimed it, and then opposite, we went here to the 80. Well, we went above it. I think we all took a short. I don't think there was nobody that was not short here. We took a short here, which means when I said if we break, remember if we break the IBH, did I say that there's a high chance we're gonna go? There was 2 levels in between. I think one was 67 was of epoch or something like that. I deleted some levels here to prep. We had 67 and then we said 57. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
So when you break the upside IBH and you break the downside of IBL, what type of day is it?
Normal day.
Neutral.
Neutral.
Okay, so now tell me what odds did I have in my favor to give you guys that at 12:30? What information did I have to make that assumption?
88% odds.
What information did market give me to potentially make that statement?
The high and the low of the day was set.
Anyone else?
The rejection of
Two.
the
You broke back
5442.
in IB.
And you
2
broke
failed
back.
auctions.
Okay,
Selling tail.
all right. So how about
Reclaim
if
an IB.
the IB is narrow, we went below it. Usually when you break a narrow IB, what happens? Do you come back and reclaim it?
Trend day.
No.
Normally.
Usually, guys, when it's tight area, when you break it, you're not looking back. That means the institutional traders got in and they're extending the extension. I'm extending the IB. When that happens, and usually, what period do we look for?
C.
C.
C period, right? So now if you take a look at this, what happened here?
They left single prints on D period.
So they reclaimed the C period here with the E, right? So for me, when I saw the IB's tight, right, and the IB's been set, we went below it and C extended and then immediately, right, came off of the key level, right? It's important to know some of the levels that are around so you can anticipate, right, that they can potentially bounce that. And when you think about this, did you have a lot of information here? Nah, not really between these. There was a little ledge, but not important. Now, when you think about this, narrow IB, you went down, but you could not continue going. What does that tell you about sellers?
They're trapped.
Well, they're trapped or exhausted, right? And now when you look, there's a little bit of access high. Would I consider this major access? Nah, not really, right? It's not at the bottom. If we came, let's say, to this level, let's say we came to the green zone and then we had the same access here, 4 TPOs here. Well, that would mean something here, especially if it comes in below the level and then we build up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's outside of the previous day, right?
Well, it went to a key level where anticipated, right? Traders, limit buyers, passive buyers, institutional traders, they don't buy here. They're not buying here. I'm telling you, they're not buying here, nor did they buy here. Because this liquidation profile would have had the massive tail if they were here. This was just a short cover rally, and tomorrow is a big day, right? Tomorrow is a big day to see because this extension here that we had was pretty good. But when you think about this extension, did this extension get a trend day? This one right here? Was this a trend day?
Yeah.
This was trend, okay. So
Didn't
if
it
this
hit?
was a trend day, this should go 3 times the IB, correct?
Oh no, 2 times. Sorry.
Okay, so that's 69 points. It came almost to IBL 2x, and then 3x would have been, way down. That makes sense. So this was extended typical day. Here, you guys agree?
Yep.
And then today, when you look at the day, what day do you have here?
A D-shaped neutral.
Just a neutral day, and I think we could have, we had a blueprint early in the day that was going to be the case. But this is a little bit different, right? This day is a little bit different than neutral. Do you guys anyone know why?
You have a little bit of tail on the bottom and unfinished auction on the top there.
Okay.
Poor high.
Anyone else? Why is this one different than just a perfect neutral day? VP, don't answer. I see you typing, don't answer.
Besides the fact you're right on the cusp of the single print area separating
Well,
the prior day.
remember how we, on one of the slides in the volume profile, we talked about when you close above POC and close to the extreme, you're
Yeah.
neutral, extreme bullish. Do you guys remember that? If you close below POC, then you're leaning a little bit bearish, but this one closed above the POC. Where did they close relative to value area? They closed above it. So what does that tell you about the buyers?
A little bit more aggressive.
They're a little bit leaning more bullish into the close, right? And you also left what on the top? You have two TPOs, you know, it looks like almost looks like a failed auction, right? I would give it that it's not, but this would be, you know, the PDH here sitting. So they're very close to making this a revisitable level. The only SP that I have left is 94.75. And then we have a massive, I'm talking about massive excess high on A period here from Friday. I mean, it starts at 99 and it goes all the way to 34. 32, sorry. So for tomorrow, now that you think about this, this was just a tiny little retracement with a gap. How would you play it tomorrow? I'm not trying to give you all the answers. I'm, you know, putting a plan together because you guys need to start doing this on your own.
I would
What's
maybe
important?
wait for them to break those single prints, for them to go higher, like possibly.
Like this one right here?
Yeah, the weeklies.
That's a slippery slope. You want to go along here?
No, I wouldn't initiate. Maybe a break and reclaim. I mean, break and retest.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would think we would have to, bulls will have to hold that previous day value area low. I'm sorry, value area high, which is Friday's value area, which is actually the TPO value area high and value area low is the same between today and Friday.
Exactly. As long as we're holding this level here, isn't this the identical setup that we had opposite here? Value area low, value area high. Isn't this the same thing that we said on this day that they have to hold above it? Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
And then we also had the following day, we had the same exact setup show up here on the value area high. Do you guys remember this? Well, let's go down. It just keeps repeating, but it's kind of easy. Now we have this level here. If they want to really, really make things easy for us, they cannot lose this level. If they lose this level, what does it mean?
We're
They're
not finding value
What
higher.
is the price telling me? Is it accepted or rejected here?
It's being rejected up there.
It's being rejected. So if it's being rejected here, what would you guys target next?
Very POC and then value area low.
Okay.
The gap fill over there.
Yep. That's exactly it. I mean, if you lose this level, the odds of you visiting this, you know, at this access low here, right, that we left today, it's big, but I don't find that level to be identical to a level where I anticipate other time frame buyers. It is previous week value area low, so there's a reason, but why didn't they show up at a lower level? I thought they looked for advantageous prices. Do you guys agree? Because here, you know, they pushed and they got smacked. So I don't trust this one based on the structure and the context of the market. I don't trust this excess low. I mark to just see how they react so I can learn from it tomorrow. If they lose this, we hit the 42, and then ultimately, what is your target? Careful how you answer.
Friday's POC. That POC right there. 6.
What about this area here? Why this area here?
Poor low in 3 months, sir.
How much time did they spend when we were selling off in this area?
How much?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
And now we spend the whole day here. If tomorrow they lose this level, so all the buyers that went long here, they bought long calls, what happens?
Get trapped.
Destroyed.
They get trapped, and then ultimately we're gonna go here. I would say, you know, and looking at these profiles here, this is a crowded low. I didn't say poor low, but this is a crowded low. Remember, did anyone recall when I talked about crowded lows and crowded tops? What happens?
Yeah, they look flat.
We move away from them and then come back and slam through them.
Exactly. So the reason why we had a short cover rally is because, remember what I said on Sunday, too many people came in short late. All the people that get in short, remember, some of us were short way back up there. If you shorted here, you do not empty adult tape. I'm sorry, you don't short adult tape. And when you come here, do you know what all the shorts that were short up there did? They basically closed their shorts, said, hey, thanks guys. You guys bring up the price higher so I can get them cheaper. And they brought it back up, and I think they hit our level today. I think I had 91 and a 91.5, I recall we hit, and we took some shorts there. Right. And they sold off. I have no idea where they are ETH now, but they're struggling here. So tonight, let's say they lose this level, 79. What would one think it's a good idea? You would catch 20 points. You would catch 20 points, so this would be a good closing because this would be, you know, this would be the value area low of RTH, right? And it seems like ETH POC, I don't care for it, but even on volume profile, just look at the structure. Where do you think POC is here? 67.75, which happens to be fairly important level considering that you had like a little bit of an area split here. They split here. Now they're holding above it. They lose this, they will tech 67, and then they'll most likely tag this area here. And ultimately again to 42. I would look for this short right here. And right now on this run up on a P shape, they're just inside that value area high here. So not a bad short, just an idea. So fairly clear for tomorrow. If they come back, this is good that they can hold it. If they crack this value area high and they hold it like they're trying, that would be bullish, right? And most likely we can go higher. And then if you crack, let's say, you crack this 99, where do you think we're headed?
First to the previous week POC.
Let's just look at this real quick. What about this level right here? Would this be a good target? This high
Yep.
volume out? Probably POC if I was to guess. Right here. At 25-ish or so. So if we can crack that, right? I think we're headed here, and I would look to see how we behave around this level. Because this is gonna be ultimately the biggest level that we have. I personally don't think they're gonna get there tonight, but there's no, potential for tomorrow. I see them tonight selling off a little bit and then maybe recover tomorrow as long as they hold our level. Right? As long as they hold this level here, this would be good. But I don't think the bulls are out of the, they got here out of trouble yet. They still have long ways to go. Okay. Any questions? Any yes? I think it's fairly simple. They really didn't even crack on, you know, when you think about the weekly profile. When you go to RTH.
Yeah, Shorty, I got a question. On my real time hours or regular time hours, my PD val is 461. How much of a difference does it make? Because I know you must be using it for TPO to calculate yours.
Yeah, I'm using TPO for this add-on switch.
Yeah,
So this is TPO.
how is it so different, do you know?
You don't have live data.
Yeah, I do. I'm on ES.
You pay for the premium live data?
Yeah, it's like $7 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. It's just my
What's your value area set?
my SVP is on 68 value area volume.
Okay. You're on volume profile.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if you look at volume profile here, I'll tell you're on TPO. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not
Oh
following.
no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My
so
TPO
if
is on
you look
34.
here, the value area low is somewhere at 61.25. When you do that, right? Is that what you have?
Yeah.
And this one is at 57, so I don't think that's a big of a difference, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a drastic difference on the weekly. Like when I did the write-up, I had all kinds of issues with levels because the structures were bad, timing and volume was not matching in a lot of places. But if you go here to external, well, I'm sorry, not external, ETH, you'll see. Let's see, look, where's the value area low now? Right at 55.
Yeah.
I would typically say, and I don't want you guys confused, but I would typically like to use volume profile on ETH, right? But for a lot of you guys, it blows your mind. I'm on ETH, on volume, RTH from market profile. So I just said use RTH to make my life easier as well.
Yeah, I personally mark both.
I
like a
had
little-
both for weeklies. You see this RTH preview value low, ETH previous week.
Mhm.
But that's, see, you know, Chad, this is a big difference for me. You know, 21 points is a pretty drastic difference. That's one day's value area.
Yeah.
So that's why I marked that. But when it's like 3-4 points, I usually mark it as a zone. You know, the worst thing you can do is this.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yep. But it looks like we're gonna execute this to 57 tonight. As soon as they lose 79.25, this is happening. Okay. Yeah, guys. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Then really easy update. They didn't really do much when you think about it. They did nothing today. And I guess I was going to show you guys the weekly just to make sure you guys are following. Let me flash that real quick. So let's see. Turn this guy off. So here's the weekly. Just keep in mind, where are we right now? Do you guys see where we are? This is your single prints, right? So you have single prints still kind of sitting here at 90. We got to get above 90, and then what happens? They have a high chance to push that all the way to about 5526. And that's the cumulative level that we also had very close to it. So if I was to grab something like this, you see it's at 31. So 2631, I would not initiate transactions, but I would look to close what I have. Does it make sense what I'm trying to portray, guys, or is anyone confused? We're still not out of the water. Value areas here. If they're able to get in tomorrow, let's say, and hold here, well, there's some potential that they could potentially run it all the way to 5586. You guys remember 5585 at all? Anyone? Does it ring a bell?
To the zone, right?
You guys remember this level? Remember this 3 weeks of consolidation right here? which was 5585. We went above, and then we consolidated off of it here. You guys have a really short-term memory. And then we
There's something.
right?
I was going to say something on my chart from a couple weeks ago. It says bull above, bear below that you went
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah,
55.86.
Yeah, it's a massive level. Very, very important level for us. Because if they're able to crack 31, 85 comes super fast. Here, you would anticipate to have a big fight because you're shifting zones, right? You're shifting values. So here, once we're able to get in, and you see at that 5502, that was our previous zone where we exploded from. We didn't really spend much time fighting here. We dipped below, and we were trying to fill this gap here. So we had a little bit of value here, but look at here, when we were going up, there was nothing here. So we filled it, and then you had a gap here. So I wouldn't be shocked if we do some stuff here, peak above here, fail, and then giving you a suggestion, maybe this happens here. Because right now you have almost like 3 levels that you're watching. This one, and the bottom distribution. And we haven't tapped the bottom yet. Does that make sense to all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a weekly profile tomorrow. You want to see them get inside these single prints that are sitting at 90.5. Quarter, sorry. Like you want to see them crack above that. Okay. All right, guys, and Sunday, I think we'll go ahead and do one of the stock scans. I think it'll be time as we're approaching the end of Q3. So just put that on your calendar. Probably either midday. I have to find out when my son's soccer game is, and then I'll schedule it. But it will be Sunday, as I have to adjust my portfolio as well.
You posted announcements the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for coach to give us the games.
What position is he?
This coach doesn't believe positions, so I don't know.
Oh,
I've never seen it. I've played 25 years, and I've never seen 9-year-olds not have a position.
yeah, yeah. Whatever. They're only 9.
That's
But-
what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, we go. Can you zoom in a little bit? Draw a circle.
Draw a circle.
Yeah, like zoom in a little bit and get it to squiggle. Okay, click that little magnifying glass next to your favorites. Up top right. Right next to your favorites, all the way up top right.
Oh, this one?
Up the next one up. Next to your
Oh, this
favorites
one?
one. Yep. Change that to 100%. Okay, now draw a circle.
Oh, yeah, it's much better.
A little
Look
bit
at
better.
that. What about when you change it to 4 hours? Oh, wow.
So much better.
Oh, look at you, man, fixing.
Wow, you just helped out everyone.
Love it.
You get me excited to draw this more, man. I was trying to hate it for a moment. Yeah.
Thinking about getting you a tablet or something so you can use a real pen.
I have
79 just broke.
Oh, the downside. Yeah, we're gonna hit that level I mentioned here, probably here shortly. Oh yeah, looks like it.
Heavy.
Oh yeah, it's about to dump. All my seat. What is that guy? What was the guy's name that brought in the new technology? CT. What was it? ITC. All of them are stuck here now. How did I do that? They're all looking for some order magical blocks here. Yes, man, fuck it. I thought it was ITC.
I was so confused what you were talking about.
I mean, that's where the people are talking about FVGs and whatnot, fair value gaps. Do you guys understand what that is, or do you know what that is, the market profile in auction?
I know that there's
It's called a
typically.
single.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that there's typically liquidity left on footprints. So like a rebalance into the FVG that he talks about is the same thing as them just going down and grabbing the orders from the footprints and then going.
Yeah, that's
Or
what I
testing the
thought.
single prints. Same thing.
Yeah, I've seen his videos, dude. They're funny.
I mean, there's some profitable people off his stuff. I was a big hater, but I kind of just take the Shorty approach. Like if you get the same stuff as from that as Shorty gets from this, like as
No,
long
by
as
all
you get
means, man. But
as long
don't
as
come
you
up.
get levels in
Don't
play and you
say
get
that you
money.
came up with stuff. Market.
Yeah. He says
I'll give you
he
this.
beat the algorithm.
Gotta get that money, man.
All I know is that market, the concept of the market never changed. The other day on Twitter, somebody posted that Peter Stadelmeyer's teachings are outdated. I wanted to ask him what changed in how the market auction functions. We added new players. Did price change? Did volume and time? Did those three components change? And if you find slips from the 1980s, the slip had those three components. And guess what? The tape has those three components still. Nothing changed. So you can call it whatever you want. You can come up with 10 different names. You're just going to confuse yourself. Okay, well, whatever. If it works for them, that's great. I mean, you can skin the cat multiple ways, so I don't hate on anyone. If it works, you got something. I see some funny faces there.
Rocket.
Yeah.
What I will
Alright,
say
guys.
though, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like what I said. I mean, with the FVGs he talks about, you can, if anyone has ever like watched the videos or marks them out, if you look at footprints, the rebalance into the FVG, it literally just goes to the imbalance in the footprints every time.
Exactly what it is, because you're looking for market behaves, as I explained, balance to imbalance. You're looking for initiation where the imbalance broke that. And what that means is it was a trend setting order. You're going to come back to that order. When you come back, what is that guy going to do, an institutional trader?
Defend his position.
He's going to be like, man, I just spent $15 million here. I don't want to be red. What I'm going to do is here is defend, and who else helps him?
Us.
Yeah. So you either play with the market at 51% or you're wrong 49%. Okay. Bye, guys. I'm out. See you guys.
Thanks, Shorty.